Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we're going to cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that are coming up in the next few months. Now, don't feel like you need to make notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, then please just feel free to drop them into the Q&A box at the side at any time. I'll do my best to keep an eye on those as we go along, but there's also going to be dedicated time for questions at the end of the webinar. So, the agenda for today. There's a new way to navigate OneDrive PDFs through their table of contents. Create individual PowerPoint slides from a file or prompt using Copilot. I'll take you through a selection of various new town hall features. Copilot's prompt gallery is getting a redesign. And then I'll also go through some more general updates across the Copilot app for licensed users. And then, of course, what's next? As always, it's good to see so many people coming back and joining us again, and welcome to all of the new faces. So let's just start with a quick introduction to Bedroq. My name is Craig Mundy, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Bedroq. You might even recognize my voice from other videos on our website or YouTube channel. Bedroq is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft Solutions partner for modern work. And this means that most of the IT that we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. So that's things like Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, etc. Now, we're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. We work with organizations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. And we manage mission critical IT and operational technology for those highly regulated organizations. The most important thing that we want to achieve, no matter what your organization does, is to make sure that your IT strategy is supporting your business as a whole. And we do this with the help of our 8 strategic rocks. And you can see them on the slide here: data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of this webinar series, as most of the Microsoft 365 apps that we talk about are collaboration tools. Now, many people we come across have invested heavily into their IT. They've bought all the apps and they've got the best Microsoft licenses, but they're not using them to their full potential and therefore not seeing the best return on investment. So really, that's the aim of this webinar series, to keep you up to date with everything that's coming out and everything that you can start to implement that you've probably already got access to, and hopefully make a big difference to your business strategy. I'm just going to touch on our cybersecurity offering before we get stuck into the rest of the content for today. Now, I'm sure we've all heard and read about the recent cyber attacks hitting big retailers in the news, and we know that this is becoming more frequent, and it's done often through social engineering. So through the manipulation of humans on the support desks to get passwords changed or some other sort of details to help the attackers gain access to your system. Now, recovery from this can be a lengthy and costly process, so it's increasingly important for any organization of any size to be prepared for these sorts of attacks that, as I say, they're becoming more and more common. Again, as I've said, Bedroq have a lot of experience working with organizations with high security requirements. We have cybersecurity specialists who use these sorts of events as ways to improve our own systems and offerings. We're Cyber Essentials accredited, and we're part of the National Cybersecurity Centre, Industry 100, meaning that we've got lots of knowledge and guidance to share. So if you're worried about cyber attacks, please get in touch and we can discuss best practice, consult on what your organization is doing to prepare, help you understand the why behind these attacks, as well as offer training to bring you and your team up to speed. So if it's of interest, just drop me an email, as you can see at the bottom there, or go through our contact page on the website and we'll set up a meeting with our cybersecurity experts. Okay, so I'm going to kickstart today with an update coming to OneDrive. Soon, there's going to be a new table of contents panel for smoother navigation in PDFs. This might sound obvious, but the PDF must actually have a table of contents within the document for this feature to work. And furthermore, this will only work for PDFs that you open through OneDrive for the web or SharePoint. So, as I say, If your PDF contains a table of contents, it will be replicated on the left-hand side of the screen, like you can see in the screenshot here, when you're opening the file from OneDrive or SharePoint. You can then use it to jump straight to specific parts of the document, which will allow you to view the table of contents continuously and use it to navigate seamlessly without having to constantly scroll back to the table of contents within the document. This should be a really nice update for when there are just specific parts of a PDF that are more pertinent to your task at hand. So let's say you're looking to reference something like graphs and stats throughout, but don't need everything else in between. Now, to access this feature, there will be a new button in the top left of your screen, although I will also assume that it's going to just open automatically. So simply click that button to open it and click the cross to close it if you're needing more screen space or just not needing access to this table of contents. So a fairly quick and simple update to get started here, but I think a much needed one, a much welcomed one, in fact, especially for those really lengthy PDFs that you just need to cut through some of the fluff and jargon and get to what you're looking for. So this feature is due to roll out sometime early this month. On to PowerPoint. So for some time now, we've been able to ask Copilot to create entire PowerPoint presentations using prompts and referencing files. I found it to be fairly hit or miss in the past, but it can be a great way to break the white space or get you over that initial writer's block. But with this new update, you can create single slides with a prompt or referencing a file using Copilot. This is a nice bit of flexibility. Let's say you're either looking to add to an existing PowerPoint that you're looking to update, or perhaps you've prompted Copilot to create a full presentation. It's given you some ideas, and now you can use a different prompt to create something closer to what you had in mind for specific slides. There are two ways that you're able to access this feature. The first is to find the little Copilot button that's just above your current slide, like you can see in the left-hand screenshot. Once you click it, it'll open up a drop-down menu with a few options, but the one you're looking for is Add to Slide. The other way to find this is in the ribbon or the menu that's pinned across the top of your PowerPoint window. And if you're not already, click into the Home tab and then click the New Slide with Copilot option. Clicking either of these buttons will open up the same Copilot window, which will look something just like this. So you can see at the bottom there, there's several suggested prompts from Copilot that might give you an idea of how to word it or an idea for a future prompt. But very easy, just type in your prompt. And then if you want to add some further detail, you can also link in a file for Copilot to reference as well. And once you're happy with the prompt, simply click that little arrow on the right-hand side, and Copilot will generate a new single slide, which from there, you're able to edit it yourself, or even fully recreate it or refine it further using Copilot again. I see this being a great update, letting you focus on getting individual slides exactly how you want them with the help of Copilot. Or, like I said earlier, to help you update and refresh existing PowerPoint presentations. This update is actually available now. So if you've got an upcoming presentation to give or some slides that you've just been meaning to have a look at, then have a go with this new feature, have a shot, and see how you get on with it. Up next, let's look at the Microsoft Teams event type called Town Hall. So Town Hall organizers, co-organizers, and presenters will soon have the ability to join and preview the event as an attendee. As a quick aside, if any of you host your own events or webinars using Town Hall, then please let me know. I've said a few times in previous webinars that I've held back on using this format, as initially it was fairly limited and restrictive with the functionality compared to what we were looking to get out of it. However, it looks like it's getting regular updates, which are improving it across the board. So I'm planning on testing it out myself at some point. But we'll jump back to the update now. There are two ways to access this attendee preview. Firstly, after you've joined the Town Hall Green Room, as an organizer, co-organizer, or presenter, you will be able to access the attendee view by joining the event from a different Teams platform. So, for example, if you join your green room from the Microsoft Teams for Windows desktop app, just through your laptop, you go through the actual app, you could instead, while that's loaded and you're in, you could fire up a web browser and use Teams that way, or use your phone and use Teams for iOS and Android. And when you attempt this, you'll see a message like you can see in the left-hand screenshot here. So the screenshot contains both versions. The black background with the blue box is the vertical one. That's what you'd see on mobile, and the other lighter blue with the three white boxes, that's what you'd see through the browser or a different app version, depending on what you've initially logged in on. As you can see in the red boxes, all you have to do is choose the preview as attendee option on mobile or preview event as attendee on desktop or browser options. You'll essentially just join as an attendee so you can check things are just as you need them to be. So clear audio, correct presenters on the screen, slides that can be clearly read, etc. Now, I know that the last point's a little ironic given the poor quality of these screenshots, but I hope you get the point. The other way that you can preview what your attendees see is by choosing a different option when you first join the event. So looking at the right-hand side here, the dark background screenshots here. Again, it's got both versions. The smaller vertical one is the mobile, and the bigger one is the desktop and browser version. So this is a screen you're probably used to seeing from joining this webinar. It happens when you click a link to join an event or the Join Now button from your Outlook calendar or calendar reminder. On mobile, you can simply see in that red box, you just have to, you already have the preview as attendee button, so just tap that and you'll join as if you were an attendee. Whereas on desktop, there's a couple more steps, and all you have to do is click the little blue arrow next to the Join Now button, which opens up the small drop-down menu, which might be a little unclear, but it gives you two options. Join as your designated role, so that's organizer, co-organizer, presenter, or preview as attendee. Simply click preview as attendee, and there you go. When you get your hands on this update and give it a try yourselves, it's important to note that certain town hall features such as Q&A will be disabled for you as an organizer, co-organizer, or presenter within that attendee experience. However, it's not going to affect the broader attendee experience or your experience within the green room. I just wanted you to be aware of this so you don't think that your Q&A section is broken when you're trying to check out and make sure that the whole event is working out as intended. So again, this is looking like another great update coming to town hall events, and because there's nothing like that lingering feeling of clicking the start event or go live button and almost having to hope that everything is working as you've tested or as expected. So hopefully this will alleviate some of that stress by being able to have a colleague check that everything is spot on ahead of or during your live event. And again, please do let me know your thoughts on your town hall experiences, either as an attendee or an organizer. I'm keen to find out your thoughts. This update is due between now and the end of the month, so keep an eye out. Sticking with town hall updates, here's another one. So as I mentioned in the last slide, there are certain features from live events, which is what this webinar is hosted as, that I've been waiting to come to town halls before personally making the switch. And this is one of said features. Obviously, there are things that town halls do that live events don't, but this is one of those features that I felt pretty necessary as an organizer of several live webinars. So what is it? Microsoft are finally adding a new way to manage what attendees see. On the right-hand side of this screenshot, you can see the one that just has the two attendees. This is what your attendees to your live event can see. On the left-hand side is a preview of the next setup. For example, it could have more presenters on it or different presenters. You could add a shared screen alongside the presenters or removing the shared screen just to leave the presenters' cameras. So before and during live events, as different speakers are lined up to present or you're wanting to share different content, you can toggle the different screens and cameras on and off. Once the correct participants or screens are in the preview on the left, you can click that yellow button in the middle, the Send Live button, and that will update on the right-hand side to show your attendees the new setup, the new screen. And this is a bit of a peek behind the curtain. This is a similar setup as to what I see currently as well. Although I'm still surprised that this was not a feature earlier in the town hall lifespan, given, as I said, we literally have access to something very, very similar in live events that I'm using right now. I think this will be a welcomed addition to town hall events, allowing you to organize and present more polished town hall events by more easily being able to manage what your attendees view and keeping the flow of the event just right. This update is actually in the process of being rolled out and has been since May. So you may already be able to do this, or perhaps it'll come to your town hall events very soon. On to some Copilot updates. Firstly, the Copilot prompt gallery is being redesigned with a new homepage and prompts from your organization. This enhanced design is aimed at improving usability and further supporting organizational productivity. You will see a redesigned homepage that simplifies navigation and improves the overall user experience. This updated interface should make it easier for you to explore and engage with available prompts, and you'll be able to create, publish, and manage prompts tailored to your organization's needs. So these prompts can be accessible directly within the app, allowing you and your colleagues to browse and use them as well. In this screenshot, you'll also see a side panel on the left-hand side. And this provides easy access to your saved teams, liked, and organizational prompts. And this is one of those nice quality of life updates that I always come back to, where it's improving the user interface and the user experience, basically just how the app looks and works. It's much cleaner and should allow for better navigation and hopefully more clarity to the user as well, as these sorts of I don't know, the Copilot screens, I think, can be a little bit overwhelming with all the different icons and the different boxes and the different words, etc. I also quite like the concept of creating and sharing prompts that are specifically useful to your organization or team. So say you've come across a particularly impactful prompt for starting your tender bids or creating PowerPoint presentations, then you can save it, share it with your team, and it'll hopefully save you all some time and headaches in the future as well. This feature was due by the end of June, but as it's only a couple of days since then, I'm not actually sure if anyone has access to it yet. So again, let's keep an eye out for this one. Now, I'll take you through some more general updates, which are coming to the Copilot app. These updates include Copilot Search, Agent Store, simplified chat, an improved Create experience, Copilot notebooks, as well as improved memory and personalization as well. You can immediately see from these two screenshots the difference in UI, old on the left and new and updated on the right. Now, there's quite a few different sections to this, so I'll just take you through it right now, and I'll take you through the numbers. So number one is the refreshed navigation pane, which is everything that's on the left-hand side of that red line that you can see. So it should give you faster access to essential modules such as search, chat, notebooks, create, and apps. You can pin or unpin apps and agents to tailor your workspace to your needs. It allows you to install apps from the Microsoft 365 apps specifically directly onto your desktop via the install button, which is within the apps module at the very bottom of that list. And as well, you'll also see notifications of Copilot's background activity through toast notifications and bubble icons. So on to number two, a bit further down that list, it's the new notebooks module. With this, Copilot will be able to ground its responses in the content of your notebook. And this means that you will receive more relevant and contextualized answers based on your prompts. This allows you to gather and organize information from chats, meetings, pages, and files, as well as store and manage important documents, notes, and tasks all in one place. I've just seen a question, well, a message come in saying that they can't hear. Kara, can you hear me? Is it okay? Okay, so it must be an issue at your end. Let me type. As it seems to work. Okay, sorry about that. So we'll move on to number 3, which is at the top of this left-hand side. This is the search module, and it's going to replace the home module, which brings a refreshed layout with key files that will be grouped within dedicated sections. It's also going to bring a search bar to help you quickly locate content, and you can also hover over files. But that's specifically Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and PDF files to view Copilot generated summaries, which is pretty cool. With a future update coming to this section down the line, Copilot Search will enable you to also connect to dozens of first and third-party apps, as well as deliver fast, relevant results and rich, context-aware answers from across your organization. Number 4 is the updated chat module. You'll find a collapsible pane for quick access to chat histories, Copilot pages, agents, and the agent store. There's going to be a centralized input box with prompt suggestions below that as well. And lastly, you'll get the ability to launch chat using the Copilot key. Now, not every laptop or keyboard has it, so instead the Windows key plus C shortcut when accessing the app on Windows 11 devices. And last but not least, way at the bottom of that list, we've got number 5, which is the Create module. Now, here you can use prompt templates and brand kits to maintain consistency with answers and results. You can also leverage generative AI, including GPT 4.0, to create and edit visuals, videos, text, and surveys. So that was a very quick rundown of some of the more general updates and improvements coming to the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. And they all have the aim of improving usability, productivity, and accessibility to more powerful tools. Now, even just looking at those screenshots, you can see it's a much clearer and I think more simplified layout, which is a brilliant start. Now, each of those sections I went through is going to have its own impact on how each of us use it day to day, and it allows you to fully customize how you set up the app to suit your needs. This update was also due by the end of last month, so some of you may already have this, been playing around with it, but some of you may have to wait a bit more patiently, like me, before we can start to get stuck in and see how we can have our workspaces set up. Okay, and that is us for the content today. I just wanted to quickly let you know about the next webinar in this series that's going to be coming next month. So it's going to be taking place on Thursday, the 7th of August. So if you're not on your holidays, you can register for that now through our website or through the link that my colleague will put in the chat box just now. We look forward to seeing you there, of course. And if there's any topics or questions that you wish for me to cover in that next webinar, then please just get in touch and I'll be happy to have a look. That's the link in the chat now. Please feel free to just click on that, get it into your diary, and register just now. Remember that all of these webinars are recorded and accessible through our YouTube channel and website. So just make sure to, if you've missed any of them, to go back through them if you're interested in learning a bit more. And of course, if any of your colleagues are interested or might be interested, then share it with them as well. I'll now just quickly take you through our stakeholder workshop that Bedroq run, called the 8 Rocks assessment. It goes back to those 8 rocks that I talked through right at the beginning of the webinar. This is a stakeholder workshop designed to get consensus on your business priorities. can be conducted face-to-face or virtually and gets leaders and investors aligned behind the best way to fully assess your IT strategy. Now, it's important to note there's no cost implications with this one other than a mutual investment of time. So if you're an IT leader at your organization and you need a bit of backup to prove to your CFO that you need to make an investment into your IT, or if you're simply looking at ways that you can better use your existing investments, well, we're happy to look at all of these things. So let us know if it's something that might interest you, and we'll be happy to set up this and introduce you to the team that will walk you through that process. We have a few minutes here for Q&A, so I'm just going to have a quick check if there's anything that's come through. Oh, good. That person was able to sort their audio issues out. That's good. And somebody asking the difference between Notebook and My Workspace and which is the best option. I'll be honest, I don't actually know the specifics between those two. The answer to the best option, that's going to be whichever you're more comfortable with. So if you've already been using one of them rather than the other one, then you're best to probably just stick with that rather than trying to relearn a new thing and reorganize a new workspace. Then it might be easier to just stick with your notebooks. In terms of updates coming, there's the Copilot one that mentions notebooks rather than specifically My Workspace. So maybe that's the way to go. But yeah, I can't really say for sure which is going to be the best option between those ones, I'm afraid. And that looks like that's everything that's come through. Okay. So if you have any more questions, perhaps while you're looking through the fact sheet later today, then please just feel free to reply to that email that I'll send out with the recording. And as always, I'll be happy to help with any queries about content in the webinar or anything else, and we'll look to cover your suggestions in the future. And just a quick reminder about cybersecurity. If it's on your mind and you want to talk to us and find out more about how we can support you and your organization, then please just get in touch and we'll talk to you and maybe try and help you to improve your cyber resilience as well. So again, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Goodbye.